Tonight, I think I want to get this grill off, get this bumper and valance off. If I feel like it, I might play around with the rear bumper. I'm sure them bolts are probably a little snug, might not be too bad, but I think that's what I want to do tonight. I know I want to take these off. I've never really been a fan of those. Not sure what it looks like underneath, but we will see. I do have these chrome ones I bought for a different project and just never used them. Had to pick up a fallen gas can, but might see how I like those on there. Get them used and out of storage. Also have these stock ones. I got a couple of new old stock, but I like those. They're kind of different. Well, kind of, they are different. But so I think I'll do that tonight and see what kind of, see if we actually get, oh yeah, we do. They got the Torx bits in here. It's got two here, one there, here, and it should have, they might not, but they should either have a, like one of them little push button clips, fasteners, whatever, or a 10mm bolt. Either way, that's what I'm getting into tonight. All right, so I'm gonna pop the hood. And I believe this is the T15, I believe, and get these off. I'll clean the grill up, polish that. Trying to see, can't see what they are, I don't have a light over here, but they're either those little push fasteners, but either way, I can flop the grill over a little bit and get to them. Not gonna hurt anything. So I think once I get this off, I'll clean this up. I'm gonna take the bumper off, like I said, get all that done. And I think I'm gonna like to get power wash tomorrow. Weather's supposed to be pretty good. Like I said, nothing big time scientific going on right here. It's just some little Torx bolts. Anyone that's got one of these trucks, anyone that has one of these trucks, I should say. No, there's not much to getting the grill off. A lot of times people will use fasteners that aren't the stock ones, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. You can use, like LMC, they sell, anywhere really sells them. It's just a little screw there. If you can see that, if I'm in line with the camera, but you know, nothing super fancy. You can use a Phillips head screw or whatever. It's not a big deal. Let's see what we have here. Yep. This off. The parking light out of it. It says a leaf. Ooh, LEDs. I don't like LEDs in these things. I just don't want to pull too hard. I think it's coming. See, sometimes you can get a little extension if you still hear me. You can take an extension like this. So I don't know if that's lined up with the camera. I should flip it around, but anyway, it'd be all right. A lot of times, like I said, for those, I can take the back right there, sit on it, and just push it enough to give it a go. That one's too big. There you go. And give it a little like that. There you go. Now this grill here is aftermarket, and I'll show you here. See where the emblem doesn't sit recessed in there, but I know some of the newer ones now, they do have a recessed area, but it's not perfect for the emblem. It'll sit in there, but it's kind of like a just generic. I don't have one that's off right at the moment, but you see what I'm talking about. Like the OEM is totally recessed in here and it sits in nice and flush. But the newer style that they make, it will sit in there flush, but it's like it's not perfectly etched out for the emblem, but it will sit in there flush, but you'll see like a little gap here and it looks kind of wonky. I'll show you my other 93 here, what I mean by the OEM one. So it sits in there nice and flush, looks good, looks complete, but hey, what are you gonna do? The junkyards are about tapped out, and you're not going to find many of these in good shape that are OEM. So these are fairly inexpensive, and like I said, that's my only complaint, but it's better than no grill. I like the 93 grills the best. It's just, I don't know, I always have. But what I'm going to do here is run a vacuum through here to get all this mess out. Not a lot in there, surprisingly, but like I said, all this stuff, I'll come back at a later date, maybe do another video on it. That could be like a little weekend project and get it cleaned up and scuffed up a little bit, maybe put some Rust-Oleum on it or something. Just right now, I'm a little pressed for time, not super bad, but again, I just don't see the purpose of wasting time to have it looking all nice and pretty. And the rest of the truck is kind of going to be what it's going to be. I've got to go, I think mid-March is when that tour is coming up that I'm going to do. And if I remember the dates correctly. But either way, I kind of wanted to get it together, get some miles on it. Even though it's got a lot of miles on it, I want to get some of my miles on it. Kind of get trust in it, and I have no reason to not trust it, but just kind of get the feel of it. You know, every vehicle feels different. You know, just kind of get vibing with it. You know what I mean? You got to kind of talk to it. You got to get friends with it, acquainted with it. But like I said, that could be another day, another time. I mean, obviously we got all that. Again, I am not taking fenders and stuff off and do all that. It's just not in the cards for this project. I mean, like I said, I've got that project there to finish, and you know, I've done that with like this truck and that truck and all that stuff. And for a daily, naturally, you know, you can do whatever you want. Don't have to listen. You do not have to listen to me. I'm not the authority on it, but for what I'm looking for out of this, you know, like I said, back in the day when I had my 89 and other trucks that I had that were, you know, beaters and daily drivers that you wish were custom and all that, you know, I would come home on the weekend, wake up on a Saturday morning, get the radio going, and take the grill off and spray paint that, or do whatever you could afford to do. Clean up everything and put some paper or some sheets or something and spray paint the wheel wells and just clean it. Keep it as clean as you can. Do what you can. But as far as this operation tonight, like I said, you could, as I've said, my thing in life now, like you can get lost in this. You could I'll take this off and blah, 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 blah. The next thing you know, you're going to, may as well do this, may as well do that. Little small things can spiral. And if you've been doing this stuff long enough that you kind of know, anyone that's listening that finds this content, channel, whatever, you're going to know that what I'm talking about, it can easily spiral out of control. Most of your high-end builds start out that way. It's like, well, I just want to get it painted. Then it becomes something way more, which is great. But I've got quite a few vehicles. And I mean, like I mentioned before, I still got little things to do to that, things to do to that. Not a lot, but just, again, small things to where you feel good about it. And of course, my 93, I'm going to the Mini Truck Nationals in, I think it's May. Yeah, the end of May, I think, mid-May, something like that. I forgot now. But I'm going to that as well. So, I mean, I've got plenty of things that, when you mess with this stuff, there's always little things kind of nagging at you that you want to do, got to do, all that stuff. So anyway, I'm sure a lot of people out there would be like, well, my OCD wouldn't let me leave it like that. And you are correct. Trust me, I know what you're talking about on that. And anyone that knows me will tell you, there he goes. He's got the grill off of it. There he goes. He's got that off of it. So I am fighting that, which is why I kind of over-explain it. And of course, it's in all of us truck guys, car guys, whatever you want to call us. It's in us. We just want to make things better and prolong it and just kind of be like, because it says something about you. It says like, hey man, this guy, he's taking time to do this and that. And, but on this truck here, I just don't see that need. I definitely want to. I mean, I'm sitting here standing here, I should say, looking at the engine bay and thinking, man, well, I could do this, do that. And yeah, I could, but at this point in time, we're going to just kind of focus on what has to be done. I still got to get the exhaust off. I ordered my clamps tonight. I thought I had some, I don't. But right now, I just kind of want to drive it. I still got the carpet to get in there and whatnot, and we're just going to pluck away with this. It's one of them things of, who knows? It might get painted. It might not. I mean, obviously, this is dreadful, right? So, but it's one of them things, as I keep saying, you can always get lost in it. Next thing you know, well, this isn't done in time. That isn't done in time. That's not done in time, whatever. I am going to polish, get the rust off that bumper that's in there, just because I'll probably put some Aluma clear on it, just to kind of keep the rust coming back a little bit. Of course, it's going to come back, just like I mentioned before. It's a aftermarket bumper, and they are what they are. Same with this. I mean, there's little imperfections in it compared to an OEM. But again, you could sit here and say, well, I won't put a grill on it till I can find an OEM. Then if you do that, you're waiting again, and I don't know, it's kind of gets out of control. But I am going to clean that up, polish that, and wash it really nice, probably buff it a little bit, and just kind of experiment and play on it, Like I said, the most damage this thing has is that bed right there. I don't know, he ran up on something or whatever, but given that it's a dark truck, it does stand out, but it doesn't, it just kind of disappears because it's a dark color. If it was like a red or something like that, it'd really jump out. But once I get it cleaned up, polished, waxed, all that good stuff, buffed, whatever I'm going to do to it, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm happy with it. It does run great, like I said before. Shifts, all that stuff. Good inspection, all that mess. So, like I said, not going too far into this. More videos I'll make, I'll do a video on some of the things that inspired me to be what I am, I guess, and where I'm at in life now. I had an 89, like I said, that was my daily, my work truck, and I was always doing things to that. And by always doing things, I really wasn't spending money. It was always like, all right, like I said earlier, it's the weekend. I'm bored, nothing to do. I'd wake up and that'd be my mission. Keep it clean, clean this up every so often, if I thought it needed it. And the underneath, the differential cover, things that you could do in your driveway, because I didn't have a garage or anything. So you do what you can. And in a way, this is kind of going back to my roots. But anyhow, let me get some wrenches, some sockets. These should be good to go. They should be 13 millimeter, if I remember right, or 1/2 inch. I think they're aftermarket bolts here. But either way, 13 millimeter, 1/2 inch, either way. Get that out, get the lights out, undo these wires, undo the wires for the fog lights that's on it. Get these out, get the original stock ones that's supposed to be in it. Maybe polish these up a little bit. As you can see, they could use it. I just think this it's more dusty really than anything, it looks like. But again, the guy that had it, he's got a family and whatnot, so he just drove it and plucked away a little bit with it himself. But, like I said, for what I paid for it, there's no complaints, and it's kind of a good little thing to mess with. Kind of this right here, well, I got my full size outside that I drive for work and all that. Parts pick up and stuff, but this right here will keep that in nice shape, that in nice shape. When that's done, that in nice shape, common sense, but so let's have some fun. I'll get my wrenches together and come back here in a second and get this bumper off. Okay, so the bolts, nuts I should say, for the carriage bolts, they came off pretty easy. Like I said, they haven't been on there too long. So like I said, you got one down there for the brace, bumper brace. Then you got another one over here. Then you have two down there. What I usually do by myself, always leave one on to where it just kind of rolls over. And get it off by yourself. Put a little bit of pressure here with your shoulder or leg or whatever and get it done. You do have like a 10 millimeter bolt that goes there. Other side as well. Had to spray a little bit of a PB blaster on those. And of course, disconnect the bulb here for the light, parking light. And that's it. Like I said, they are not a fan of those, but they're already wired. So I'm just going to cut these wires and just do my own connections for my other lights that I have. Snip. And another snip and another snip. So now we're ready to take that off. All right, so undo this bolt here. I don't think this is going anywhere because, like I said, it's got another bolt behind this, and that's kind of holding it right now. Barely, but it's not going to flop out. But I'll put some pressure on it with my leg. Reuse those, and it should be ready to slide off. There you go. I'll put this on my shelf. Somebody might need it down the road somewhere. Who knows? But right now I don't need it. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to leave this off till tomorrow and get it power washed. At least just get it cleaned up. clean those up a bit, you know, like I said earlier, the obvious stuff. Some point might clean the frame up, but again, I keep saying these things, but again, you know, it's just kind of, I don't know, there's just so much to do and got other projects, and man, to make something really, really nice requires time. So if you can't put the correct time into it, sometimes it's best just to leave it alone, because next, you know, you want to unbolt these and maybe get those powder coated. Then you want to paint this. Well, it just takes so much time, and then like I said, I've got other projects to finish. But again, I over-explain because my brain is going, why don't you just paint this while you're there? Why don't you just paint that? And it's like, maybe this may be some therapy for me. Maybe it'll kind of, hey man, you can't fix everything and you can't make everything perfect. And maybe you got to force yourself to kind of go against the grain of what you normally would do. But we can get the dust off of it. We can get the dirt off of it. We can get the paint cleaned up a bit. We can just do some obvious things, but like I said, it's just killing me to, you know, with deadlines and other projects and all that. Like I said, it's, I did not get this truck to do all that too. Of course, cosmetic things, you know, the things that don't take a lot of time, a bumper, a grill, that's not a lot. Wheels, that's not a lot. Roll pan, that's not a lot. So I'm trying to talk myself out of what I would normally do, but I'm going to have some fun with it. And I think I'll appreciate it more once I get it actually on the road, tagged and all that stuff. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with it and kind of just keep it at a minimum. All right, so I got the wires snipped here. Excuse me. I think we got some tapping in the powers in some places. Who knows? I got to kind of fish that out, but I was left with a lot of extra wiring, which can be good. That way I can try to hide it a bit. Like I said, I don't think I'm not going to redo it unless I dig into it and see that it's maybe a fire hazard or something like that. But at this point in time, I don't think I'm going to mess with it. We're going to leave it be. As long as everything looks protected. So I'll know tomorrow when I power wash it, and maybe something shorts out, something like that, who knows? Well, we'll see. But happy with that, got that off. That wasn't any problems, nothing stuck, nothing stripped. Just need some cleaning. And finish up the chrome bumper in there, get that back together. Well, get that on and get the new valance on it with the fog lights and get the grill polished and cleaned up. Got the new valance sitting here. Not sure if I like how that light is sitting in there. For some reason, I just like how fog lights look like dangling down, I guess, upside down, as opposed to sitting where they are now. But I might just go with that because I can put a shim behind it. It's already got a cutout here to where it can slide in there kind of neatly. If not, I'd have to maybe drill a hole or something like that. But I'm going to take a heat gun and heat this up and kind of open it up just a touch. 'Cause I do think these get kind of warm if I remember right. And anyway, you don't want anything touching anyhow. But I might just leave it like it is and just put a metal shim behind it to kind of keep, it's plastic. So right now it's kind of stiff and hard because it's winter. But once it gets warm, plus the warmth from misspoke. Once it gets warm outside, plus the warmth from the light, things will get malleable, moving around, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, not a GM piece, aftermarket, so you get what you get, and that's what you got. Can't do much about that. So, I think I'll just leave it the way it is and call it done when I put this on. So my next step is going to be to go to the back of it Get this bumper off and get rid of the LED lights that are on it. Let me see if I can get up in here and show you. I don't have a light back here, but it's like 3 bolts there. Of course, I can take it off here if I wanted to, but I'm going to put a roll pan on it, so I'm going to take all that off. And, you know, attach things a little bit better. I might drain the differential fluid, put new in, all that stuff, and, you know, so we'll see where we are here in a little bit. I looked at these the other day. They don't look to be really terrible. I don't think there's a lot of rust on them. We will see. That's a good bumper. I think that is an original GM bumper, so I'll hang on to that. Somebody might need it. I'll never use it. It does have a little ding here. I think it's kind of bowed out. It's probably been used to tow a boat, trailer, whatever, but it's not bad. You could probably take a tractor and a tire or something like that and just push it, and it might straighten up, but that's not something I'm going to worry about. It looks bent evenly, if that makes sense, but still a good bumper overall that somebody could use later on. So I'm going to get my tools together and get back there and get on that. All right, so here you go. I got 4 bolts out of it. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of dark back here, but I usually keep 1 in each side, of course, get it flopping, making sure nothing's hitting anything, nothing like that. Lay it down kind of gingerly. So all I gotta do now, same thing I did with the front bumper, put a little bit of pressure on it with my leg to hold it up, pull these bolts out and slide the bumper off. Anytime I'm doing stuff like this, I always assume people just kind of know how to do these things. So if this channel grows or anything like that, and anyone has any questions about, hey, I didn't see what you did, or how did you do that, or anything like that, just reach out, make a comment, anything will do. But I look at it as, you know, YouTube, we're just kind of hanging out. None of this stuff is, as I like to kind of say, repeat myself a bit, is not rocket science, but that's also not to say someone might not know. When I was starting out messing with this stuff, I had no clue. All I had was an adjustable wrench and a few other rusty Craftsman wrenches. If I saw somebody with a nice toolbox, or even just a random toolbox, like something basic you'd have in the back of your truck, I would think, man, this person's rich. But anyway, if you see anything you might want to know more about, just say the word. All right, so now I'm gonna, man, you can really see that bend decent there. It's not terrible, but you can definitely see it. But now I'm gonna see if I can kind of muscle it out. That's that bolt. Now I'm gonna hold it here. That's that bolt. She should slide. Oh, I forgot one. Well, forgot 2. The mount for the license plate lights. Forgot those little bolts. 13 millimeter, no, those aren't. Well, hopefully I have it here so I don't have to stop and restart things. I think we got some 10 millimeters here. Yep. So luckily they're not all rusted to pieces. Kind of keep the weight on my legs. Getting kind of heavy. That little pinch point. So what we have here, we have a stripped out bolt. Oh no, it's a Phillips head. Let me see if I got. Let me see if I've got a wrench here that'll fit that. think I do. Not that one. Let's see what this one does. Ooh, not that one either. Yeah, I forgot about these. Hopefully I can get this. Nope, that's some weird size, but let me see if I can kind of just bring it down. It's kind of a, yeah, it's enough. Enough was loose. You don't want to do that. That creates a pinch point. You can hurt your wiring, but hey, here we are. You know what I mean? So, not sure what somebody did with my screwdriver though. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Well, okay, well. That's not it. So that was a mistake on my part for not paying attention, talking around my mouth, not paying attention to where the wires are. Luckily, that has a lot of play in it, and I guess at some time somebody replaced that because it's definitely a little longer than I think it should or has to be. But see, I don't know if this is the right size or not. I think we got a stripped, some type of strip situation going on here. But yeah, that's what we have going on. If that don't work, let's try this one. That seems a little better. So somebody replaced that at some point. Ah, there you go. But like I said, you gotta own your mistakes when you make them. That's how you get better. And even when you're better, you still might make a mistake. So that is what it is. But nothing's ripped, nothing's torn, nothing's pulled out of place. It still has this little holder, little clip there. So yeah, at some point somebody replaced that, but like I said, I should have checked that first. Of course, whenever, just pay a little bit more attention to it. But for all intents and purposes, there you go. All right, so that's off. Get the spare tire off as well. I'll cut the exhaust off of it tomorrow. And I'm gonna do a good little video on the engine cleanup a bit. Of course, you know, it's still gonna be kind of dull looking. It is what it is. I do have to replace the AC, get that up to snuff. Ah, well, it's already been retrofitted, so all I gotta do is buy the AC compressor. That's what's gone bad in it. All right, so that's good. So for right now, that's what we got. I can't wait to get my other filming apparatus here. Of course, like I said, I'm not a director, so I'm kind of all over the place. I'll get better, I promise. And I'll stop. I got a habit of saying, and the, well, I'm thinking of things to say. I don't go off a script because I just don't feel like sitting down, wasting the time and pretending I'm doing something what you're seeing me do, I'm out here doing it right now. As you saw, I had to walk back and forth to my little tool cart to get the tools. I don't have things laid out, and it's not a class act production, but I do want to get that filming apparatus, that gimbal, that tracking gimbal, and that way I can, see, I said it again. That way I can put it like right here, and it'll just follow me around. I can just kind of walk around, talk, run my mouth, and not really do the, there I said it again, but I said it again, but that could be the OCD. Anyhow, that's good for tonight. Get it out tomorrow, get it pressure washed, get the exhaust cut off. I think I've already said I don't want to fire up the compressor. Get using power tools out here, especially the cut-off wheel. They can get kind of loud. My neighbors are pretty cool. There's really nobody around, you know, super close. But, you know, where I'm at right here, 14 foot by 14 foot door. Right here going into the woods is like an amphitheater. So my neighbors are cool. I'm out here late at night and running my truck sometimes. Not without exhaust or not like that, but just out here messing around. I might be making some clanking noises here and there, whatnot. I think most people are okay because I'm out here and the way I'm kind of looking around the neighborhood. Don't see any weird stuff going on. Kind of like an unpaid security guard. But anyway, I'll get the exhaust off tomorrow as well. See what I got to do exactly. I've ordered some clamps, some band clamps, and I'll see. I think I ordered what I need. I don't think it's any kind of, you know, surprises there. But yeah, I'm excited to get this closer to being on the road. Very excited. Get this mounted up. I really hate screwing holes in the bed. That's just something I hate doing. But given that the bed's already dented, you know, truck's not perfect, so that is what it is. If, you know, someone over got the truck, I die or something like that, somebody else got it, holes can always be filled. It's just one of those things of, I just hate it. Like the older roll pans, what I would always do with the fiberglass ones, I've got a really nice Lund roll pan, and that's kind of my shop art for my shed I have. You just don't see those. Where is it? Oh, it's in my bed of my 90s project over there. I've got another one I bought from a guy, man, back in like 1991. I didn't even have my driver's license or a vehicle at the time, but I knew I needed a roll pan. So I bought it. And the way they used to make them, fiberglass, it had like a little notch right there. And what that notch would do, you could put that on and bring it as close to the tailgate as possible. And that way, when you open the tailgate, that little notch would allow the tailgate to swing inside, and you still have a nice tight gap. These newer style, just cheap stamped, just is what it is. I think Street Scene still makes roll pans, but I think even those have like it's flat right there to where that's got to be where it's got to be. Wherever the tailgate swings is where that just has to be. It just is what it is. Yeah, a good fabricator could cut that, make it what it has to be. But again, why would we do that for this? I mean, you could just be that picky guy and just try to get that accolade of like, wow, he sure does go the extra mile. But I just don't think someone's going to overlook everything. I don't think anyone's going to overlook all the other flaws and go, wow, he did the notch there. Excellent. You know, that's the way I look at things. It's kind of like polishing 3 wheels and leaving the 4th one dirty. That's how I look at things like that. It's like, why go the extra mile on one part and then you're going to leave the other part? It's kind of like, let's make it uniformed. But anyhow, I think there's a Sir Michaels on my 93 back there. I think that's what that one is. And this still has a decent gap in it. It's just is what it is. The roll pan that's on my other 93 in the trailer, that's similar to this one, and it's the same kind of thing. I didn't want to use that fiberglass one on it I forgot why I didn't want to. Oh yeah, well, it's a long story with that, but it was just quicker to just throw that one on, not so much throw it on there. The guy did take the time and weld in the gaps and stuff like that, but it looks nice. And at the point in time, I was thinking almost had a falling out with that painter. So it's kind of like, yeah, I can live with how that looks. At least the truck is together and I can bring it home and it looks decent or whatever, and I can do it later on, redo it, get somebody else to repaint it. Again, straying off topic. But like the one on the extreme, that gap's not too bad. It would be a little closer on this with that notch. But of course that's made a little different. It's kind of slanted a little bit to kind of catch that swing. I just think it's just how these are made. Also, the fiberglass one has more, this is all filled in. So what I did was I just drilled holes and ran a bolt with a spacer so I wouldn't have to drill into my bed. And then I put a brace where the license plate would go to keep it from being flimsy and vibrating. I had that on my 93 for a while. But again, it looks fine, and that's that. But anyway, we got this off, got the front bumper off, grill off. And now we can get it pressure washed and then go from there. As usual, I don't have a lot of followers, or subscribers, I should say, but if you are watching, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.